And now, it's time for Ted Nugent's Spirit Campfire with John Brankus. It's the physics of spirituality with attitude.
With sex appeal. Speaking of sex appeal, John, how are you, by the way?
First of all, I'm sexy. That's what I know. I'm sexy. I'm sexy, and I know it.
Let's come back down to earth and we'll start over again. So, John, how are you?
Ted, listen, we had look. I'm doing amazing. There's no other way to be. So,
hallelujah.
More amazing because you have the one, the only, truly the person who's one of a kind on the show, Shemane.
Oh.
Yes, Steve. You know, if I'm good for anything, it's who I bring along with me. So everybody, welcome to the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire. I hope you have your Kevlar vests over your genitals, because there's going to be so much positive spirit that it'll be like attitudinal shrapnel tonight. And I hope you continue with that positive spirit. By the way, John, somebody do some research. I need some stats. Is this show number 9, 10, 11, 12? What is it?
You know what? I think it's show 10.
Well, whatever it is, I'm
been doing it for 5 weeks.
And John, thank you very much for helping create this Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire. We appreciate it. It's
amazing. Ted, you got to remind everybody, the only reason why we're breaking the internet, the reason why we're smashing Facebook right in their face is because
I'm a smasher.
Because we're a smasher. Everybody's got to give a thumbs up and a heart right now at the open of the show, so that the whole world, all 3.5 million followers on Ted Nugent's Facebook and YouTube and everything, that they know about it. But you got a heart, thumbs up, shout it out to the world. You saw everybody up on Capitol Hill virtually. You saw them squirming in their seats where they're saying, we don't change the algorithms. Well, put thumbs up and hearts and show them how the algorithm works.
That's right. Sharing is caring.
Which, by the way, yes, since we have, I was trained by the U.S. Marines, improvise, adapt, and overcome, and you never pass up ammo or food, or when Mrs. Nugent is in the house and you have a video spirit campfire. So everybody, meet why I smile all the time. The queen of the forest is here, Shemane Nugent, my baby. By the way, the glow, that's why.
She's effervescent.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And Ted asked me to come on because I was talking on my show, I have a show called Simply Shemane that's on Facebook Watch and also on YouTube, and it's every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And I was talking with QAnon nurse who was talking all about COVID-19 and what she's actually seeing from her perspective. But I've been able to interview people like Roger Stone, Liz Crokin, who produced Out of Shadows, of course, Ted Nugent.
You know, we talk ballistics and guitar. Well, with me, ballistics, guitars are ballistic. But anyhow, Shemane's show, she is, I remove myself. When I play the guitar, I'm not even me. I'm a fan of music, so that youthful craving for music brings out these fresh and exciting guitar licks from the history books and the future books. And what Shemane does on her TV show, I can watch it and appreciate it and critique it as if she doesn't own me, as if we're not married for 31 years and we're the happiest soulmates in the history of backstraps. But her show, John, we got to get a multi-link here, because what she does, she brings, we're all about positive spirit and positive energy and maximizing the good. We have to spotlight the bad and the ugly, because the more you chip away at the bad and the ugly, the more the good can thrive and explode. And that's what Shemane does. So tell us about why you started this show, because not like you're not too busy here at Spirit Wild Ranch and with the dogs and managing me. I'm easy though. Am I easy?
No. No.
John, you said I was really easy.
The reason I started it was on my bucket list of things to do, and now that I'm 58, I really want.
Oh, you said bucket. I thought bucket. Oh, I thought you said something else.
No, not that. And I wanted to do a show that was a little bit of politics, current events, a little bit about health and wellness.
A lot about health and wellness.
We also have wine time. We have wine tasting.
Wine
and then
tasting.
We always end with something to make you smile. And I usually have funny pet videos. And Ted will listen to me. I'll be watching on my phone all the funny pet videos and laughing hysterically. And he's like, "What are you watching?" I feel like, we only have so much energy to put out in the world, and for us to, take in, and you've got to manage, you've got to have balance in your life. So you should always end the day with something to make you smile.
John, you don't happen to have at your beck and call there some photos of Shemane and I with Happy and Coco and Sadie. I sent you some dog pictures, but you probably have to dig deep for them. But we love our dogs.
Love our dogs.
And in the crazy world of planet Earth, communist Chinese virus, mayhem on the streets of Seattle and Portland and Atlanta and New York, if you don't have a dog, get a dog. My brother Jeff just got a husky. My sister Kathy, she's down to like 4 or 5 dogs. Even my son Toby, he's got a little dog named Grizz. And my son Fleetwood, he now has a dog. Sasha has Maggie.
And,
I think Heather has a dog.
You know what you can do if you don't have a dog and you don't have time? If you can go to your local animal shelter,
yes,
and you can offer to take a dog on a rescue recess. That means check them out for an hour or two, take them for a ride, walk them on the beach, whatever it is, and you're helping a dog, and you're also, helping buoy your spirits. And I think, the longer we are here on this planet, the more that we age, the more important it is to buoy our spirit and to fill our souls with things that make us happy and healthy, and pets certainly do that.
Yes, you can see we're an elderly couple, but we don't act, think, or live, or even look like an elderly couple. And I think we can attribute. John, do you have a dog?
I do have a dog. I have an amazing dog, and
Are we right though that a dog, a pet, it literally when it's time to hug a pet or throw a ball or give him a biscuit, is the world not perfect at that moment?
The world is absolutely perfect with dogs. I don't understand people who don't like dogs. I realize there are dog people.
I don't like people that don't like dogs.
I can tell you this. Here's the thing. My dog, I have a Greater Swiss Mountain Dog, and as soon as my phone boots up here, I'm going to show you pictures. My dog is a Greater Swiss Mountain Dog. We had an adult male that was about 150 pounds. She's like 90 pounds.
Mercy.
She's not giant, but she's a big dog, and she scares people out of their mind. She's got a great big bark. But what's interesting is that she knows if you don't like dogs. And if you don't like dogs, she's not going to let you alone. Like, she's all over you, barking. Like, it's like she's Cujo. But if you love dogs, she's just a big teddy bear. So I just note to people who don't like dogs, know that you don't like dogs.
Well, I don't know how that shows up on the cell phone like this.
Yeah, I'm trying
There's
to look at the
Shemane
picture.
with Happy, Sadie, and Coco. Sadie is the lab. Coco is the Michigan State Trooper canine, greatest duck hunting German Shepherd in the world. And then, of course, Happy is kissing Shemane, and he's Catahoula Blackmouth Cur. But we love our dogs. So, and I know I hear from people on Facebook, and I can't wait too, John, on the Spirit Campfire. Some of the greatest moments is when we've channeled in some of the viewers out there across planet Earth, and we've had a little exchange with them. So I'm going to give a little direction here on today is the 30th of July, 2020. You expect me to believe
It's crazy.
That? And
it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. It's almost
And I
August.
still look this good? This can't be. This is gravity-defying, anti-science. I love that stuff. Anyhow, it is the 30th of July, 2020, and the times are a-changing. The times are crazy. But anybody that's watching, if you have some lights, even just regular old room lights.
Lights?
Lights, camera, action. If you have lice, I can't help you. I mean, I'll spray a little Hoppy's number 9 on your scalp, but it'll stink. Anyhow, if you got some lights, and if you're going to tune in, I don't know if we're going to have time tonight, because I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody, John, we've had incredible guests, Mitch Ryder and Billy Gibbons and Ricky Medlock and Jason Hartless and Greg Smith and Vic Johnson. We've had Tommy Shaw, Jack Blades, Michael Cardona. There's Happy Jackson.
Happy.
He's my best friend.
Yeah, he really
You're
is.
pulling that, Herbert.
Like today,
look it.
Today you were doing an interview and you said that's like, trying to pick your favorite dog. You do have a favorite dog.
Well, don't tell Cole.
Look at that.
But Happy is the favorite dog. Happy is your best friend.
He is such an incredible hunter. Happy climbs trees, John. He literally will climb a tree, leap 12, 15 feet off the ground to get up on a limb or a crotch of a giant oak tree or a maple, and he will tree squirrels and raccoons for his daddy. But anyhow, I was going to say, tonight we probably won't have time for people to come on. We're going to try to carve that out because we really love to see you. We love to hear from you out there. And while I'm saying that, thank you for all the incredible positive communications on my Facebook. What a great reminder of how cool people are, how good people are. But I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know that in just a few minutes, we're going to have, in the great tradition of the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire, guests and blood brotherhood. Are you kidding me? Mark Farner, John. Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad. A pillar of soulful, outrageous, high-energy Michiganiac rock and roll in the history of the world. Mark Farner is going to join us in just a few minutes.
Mark Farner is going to be around. I wanted to go to the chat room on Facebook. Everybody's got to drop in where you are watching us from. We have people from all over the world. We've got Jolie, who's from Michigan. We have Patty, who is actually from Queens. Somebody watching from Queens.
I just got off the phone with New York, by the way, just 5 minutes before I joined you.
There you go. We got Tina from Clarksville, Tennessee. We've got Maddie from Virginia. That's my home state. That's where I'm from.
Great state. I'm going there to help the great Amanda Chase, Senator Amanda Chase, a great, great patriot in Virginia.
We got Debbie from New Jersey here. It says stand strong.
I was just on the phone.
Is there any other way for you to stand?
I was just on the phone with a law enforcement podcast, and it was wall-to-wall New York and New Jersey warriors. So a big salute to my friends in New Jersey.
We got Shanna from Missouri. We've got Jerry from the Virgin Islands.
Wow.
British Virgin Islands. Dude,
I didn't think they were still a virgin because I thought for sure they got...
You got what? I mean,
I didn't know they were a virgin because I thought they got...
That's right. That's right. We've got you from Denton, Texas. How far away are you from Denton, Texas?
I think that's just north of Dallas, and we're going there tomorrow for Shemane's TV show. Simply
he's
Shemane.
coming into
and
my
we got
studio.
John Lott, the author of More Guns Equals Less Crime, a scientifically irrefutable book showing the importance of the right to keep and bear arms. John Lott on Shemane's TV show. We're going to have John Lott on here. He's a great guy.
And
there was I saw a news story. I don't know how far away are you from Austin?
In my Hellcat, about 45 minutes.
Yeah, no.
Right, in your Hellcat, about 45 minutes. So,
in my Hellcat, as I do.
A news story of someone was being crazy out in Austin and didn't end well.
Well, if people would get out of my left lane, it would be much safer out there because in my Hellcat, I can just squirt around you before you knew I was in the neighborhood. By the way, a moment of silence for Detroit Muscle, the mighty Mopar. Even though I love my Ford Broncos and I love my Chevy Suburban, and Shemane loves her Cadillac, but the new Mopar fire-breathing Hellcats and Demons, 700 plus, 800 plus horsepower on the showroom floor. I love America.
That's right. That's right. Done a lot, dude. I've done a lot of work with Ford. I'll tell you what, American automobile manufacturers are still kicking ass.
Well, you know that great thing I love. I'm having a Bronco rebuild. I love my Broncos. Boy, you know we could do a whole show.
The new ones?
No, I don't, but I have a new one waiting for him in Michigan from Taylor Ford downriver. Shemane's going to go right now. But you heard about a TV show. I love you madly.
We love you, Shemane. You can say, it's part of the Campfire thing.
All right.
But anyhow, I have a fleet of old Broncos. We love the old early classic Broncos from 1966 to 1977. And I've been watching the Motor Trend channel on my, is that DirecTV or Dish, whatever it is. But on Motor Trend channel 281, they have all these gods of wrenches. I mean, literally the master fabricator, customization wrench gods that ever walked the earth. And I love Dan Short of Phantom Works. Storks, and I love Chip Foose, and I love the Roadkill, and I love all the shows, but there's one called Texas Metal that they create trucks that it's like a miracle gem piece of art with horsepower and torque that'll snap your neck. And right now, Bill and the guys down at Texas Metal have my beloved 1974 Ford Bronco, and they're turning it into the Nugent fire dog snorting beast. So a big salute to everybody out there that loves Detroit metal. In fact, I have a new song called Detroit Metal. And it's about horsepower. It's about horsepower.
Ted, our very, very, very special guest is waiting.
Oh, I don't want to keep him waiting. All right. Okay. You know all about Grand Funk Railroad. Are you kidding me? If you have a soundtrack with vitality.
30 seconds. So delay for 30 seconds, Ted.
Do I delay for 30 seconds? I'm good. I can delay. I can delay all you want. But I'm not going to delay. I'm going to pontificate my admiration and my love for the musical enrichment and the piss and vinegar and the energy and the spirit and the attitude and the double dose of flaming middle fingers that Mark Farner has provided. Mark Farner, welcome to the Nugent Spirit Campfire, my friend.
It's good to be here, brother.
How about it? Do we go back or what, Mark?
Lord have mercy. I can't count that high.
Well, let me tell you, Mark and I were raised. They hear it from me. We've had great guests on, Mark, because we celebrate this incredible force of musical communication that is, you and I are spoiled rotten because we swan dived into it when we were born. But every human being has a soundtrack that represents the greatest and some of the most trying human experiences. What year were you born, and what kicked Mark Farner in the ass to become Mark Farner, this musical force to reckon with?
I was born in 1948.
Same as me.
And, yeah. And my mother was feeling sorry for my ass because I got busted up in a football game and I couldn't play any more football. I was really down in the dumps, dude. And she got me 6 lessons and rented a flat top, the old K acoustic.
Sure, from Montgomery Ward.
Yeah, dude, that's the one. So 6 lessons, and she knew that I loved to hear my name called when they would say, through the loudspeaker at the football game, that was Farner, number 66 in on a tackle. Man, I'd be prancing across that field.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I was made to be on stage.
And so you were born right. Our lives are probably parallel. We're going to have Derek St. Holmes on, my unbelievable guitar player, vocalist. You know Derek. Yeah. And he was born in Detroit. Were you born in Flint? Were you born in Saginaw? Where?
I was born in Flint, St. Joseph Hospital.
And since we were born at the same time, I've just celebrated the Ventures and Lonnie Mack and Dwayne Eddy and then Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley and Little Richard. Is that literally the Mark Farner exposure and catapult into this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And WAMM in Flint, Michigan, Man Wham Radio. And then Curtis and I would set up and listen to his old wooden radio, and we would pick up Skip from Nashville, Tennessee, dude. And after 11 o'clock at night, we would hear John R. way down south in Dixie. And you listening to the Royal Crown Hairdressing Show. And he would play all kinds of, blues and soul. And we would stay up for hours until we lost reception.
So I think a lot of us, we got Wayne Kramer of the MC5 coming on soon. We had Billy Gibbons. We had Mitch Ryder on, Mark. How cool. So you can tell that you belong in this Spirit Campfire.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So when you got hurt playing football and your mom felt sorry for you and you were probably getting to be a pain in the ass up there in Flint, so she got you a guitar. How old were you? I got my first guitar when I was like 6 or 7. And of course, you don't know what you're doing, but you start beating on it and you'll develop a touch. Were you that young also?
No, I was 15.
You were a late starter.
Yeah, late starter.
By the time I was 15, I had a band in Detroit, the Royal Hype. In fact, I had the Lourdes. I was with the Lourdes, and we won the Michigan Battle of the Bands and opened up for the Supremes and the Bo Brummels at Cobo in 1963.
a bow broke. All right, dude. That's awesome.
Well, now tell me what you've been doing, because obviously the Grand Funk Railroad imprint has just been so powerful. But a lot of people, since a lot of the music, well, I was going to say music industry, but there isn't one, because they don't pay homage. They don't show the true incremental stair steps of the history of music. And John, I don't think many people know that Grand Funk Railroad sold out Shea Stadium faster than the Beatles did. What year was that, Mark?
1971, Ted.
Well,
Wow.
tell me what kind of whirlwind vortex vapor trail you found yourself in walking on stage to a sold out Shea Stadium.
We had just come back from our European tour where Humble Pie was our opening act in Europe.
Steve Marriott, man. Whoa.
Yeah, Steve Marriott. And we said, I told Andy, I said, man, we should bring those guys to the United States and have them open our U.S. tour. And he said, that's a great idea. So, he calls D. Anthony. He said, man, we want to bring the guys over. You know where they debuted? Shea Stadium.
That was their first American gig.
That was the first American gig, brother.
You're a cruel, cruel man, Mark. Was that a Terry Knight maneuver?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ted, I want to hear about, We're an American Band is such an iconic song and has been covered, just countless times. But when you guys were sort of creating that vibe and that body of work, what was the thought going through your mind at that moment?
Well, Lynn Goldsmith, who was our publicist, said, you guys need to write a song. It's about what you are. You're an American band. So Brewer comes in and he's got the lyrics. But that's, he doesn't play an instrument. He plays a 2-note chord, on the guitar. So I could hear things and I said, well, what about this? And I start playing. And I said, wait a minute, man, we got to have a cowbell in here. Brewer didn't own a cowbell. Nugent, he didn't own a cowbell.
More cowbell.
Yeah. He says, dude, I will pick one up. I said, pick 6 up. Don't get one. Pick 6. There you go. More.
There it is.
Latin percussion. So anyway, he brought six cowbells. We picked the best one, the one that went kank, kank, kank. We didn't want no tink, tink, tink. So that's the way that started. And then that drum beat on the intro, I was hearing that, and I taught that to Brewer.
Now, I got to tell you, and because literally Mark was in Flint, I'm in Detroit, Derek was downriver, Billy was in Houston. Ricky Medlock was in Jacksonville. I guarantee we were all born in that same Les Paul firestorm that Chuck and Bo really identified way before the Beatles, way before the so-called British invasion brought back American black music. They've turned us on to the black music that Mark and I were already addicted to. But John asked you about the state of mind when you were creating those iconic soundtracks that so enriched everybody's life. I want you to put in Mark Farner's words, since you were there, even though I was there. I might not have been in the room with you, but I was there. Tell the people in your life, because I know you were weaned on, you were already referenced that soulful music in the Michigan. Tell us your version of the Michigan thing. There's a Michigan thing. It's right now, I don't know if it exists outside your home and mine, but there's a Michigan thing, it's not in Lansing, that inspired, that brought Chuck Berry, that brought Mitch Ryder, and brought the MC5 and Brownsville Station, and still today with Kid Rock. What to you, as a Michiganiac originator, Mark, explain the Michigan thing?
I'll tell you how it happened. It was called the Big Tree, and everybody from every state in the union wanted to get high-paying auto factory jobs. Yeah. My grandfather, Uncle Woody, Uncle Brian, Grandpa Cotton, everybody moved up from Leachville, Arkansas, and brought their instruments. And we had a lot of Southern people. The influx came. And so it was north meets south, and it was good. It was family. There wasn't all that bullshit, you know, the black and white segregation.
It was united. It was absolutely united.
Yes, man. We are brothers, and still here in Michigan, this is the way we are. Well, you know, the rest of the world can go to hell on screen, but we're going to stay with our feet locked down in this Michigan mud.
And you know, with all our travels, I'm sure you've experienced, and I'd like you to tell everybody about it, no matter where you go, all musicians and all music fans, you know, use the word fan, but they're just fellow music lovers. We're music lovers, but we love it so much we couldn't just listen. We had to swan dive into it and create our own identity and signature and unleash our inner dreams and fantasies sonically and groove-wise. But the power of a James Brown and a Wilson Pickett and the Motown Funk Brothers and all those emotional work ethic authorities of that human experience with the good, the bad, the ugly, and even when they identified the bad and the ugly, it always came back on how to make it good. Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, Lightnin' Hopkins, all those guys came north to Chicago and Detroit, and it really bled over, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely, brother. And you know, when we were doing it, this is how we learned how to play guitar on this.
Yeah.
You know, and we were looking for that tone. We love that tone, Nugent. We love that old tone of that blues guitar coming across that. All right. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, everybody at the Spirit Campfire, John's a guitar player, but this will really fascinate you, John. I'm a Gibson Birdland guy. Everybody's a Les Paul guy and a Fender Stratocaster guy. We all love PRSs. We all have an arsenal to choose from. But you, Mark, were known for playing a guitar that no one else had ever seen. You know, we play an American band through the PA every night before we go on stage. Always have. Because you're an American band, but so are we. And we really celebrate that. And so tell me about, is it called The Messenger, and where did that come from?
The Messenger came from Bill Eberline, who was a Sun amplifier rep.
Sure, I know, Bill. I had some Sun amps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he come up with this Messenger. He says, Farner, you got to try this thing. And I said, I said, well, I'll try it, but it's kind of weird. You know, you really got to hold the neck up. The neck is solid aluminum. If you let go, it would go just dive. So it took me a while to get used to it, but it sounded good through that West amplifier, man.
Sure.
And he sold it to me for $200, $25 a week, dude, so I had it paid off.
Well, you can imagine the trouble I ran into wanting to buy $1,000 Birdland in 1965. It may as well cost $10 million, but I worked and worked and worked and got it. But John, that Messenger guitar is so unique, and as a guitar player yourself, I'm sure that when you heard Grand Funk music that you're going, well, that's a different guitar sound.
It is a very distinctive, completely different guitar sound. And I have a couple questions for you. So first of all, I want to know just the backstory on the name of the band, because it feels like a melting pot kind of name. And secondly, what instrument do you not play? I mean, you're like a master on the keys, master of the strings. Like, what do you not play?
Well, the way the name came about was our manager, Terry Knight, had a song called Grand Funk Railroad. And he says to us guys, why don't you name the band the name of my song, Grand Funk Railroad? And we thought, yeah, that'll work. And it worked. But
everybody might not know that there really was a Grand Funk Railroad. And I'm sure somebody in Flint would watch the train go by and it said Grand Funk Railroad on the side of the train, didn't it?
Grand Trunk. Yeah. And on Fenton Road at 12th Avenue, over the viaduct there, it says Grand, and they crossed out the T and made it an F, Grand Funk, and it's got Mark Donamel on there. And every time the railroad paints it back, the fans the next night have got it back the way they like it. And it was
I think a lot of people know the history of Grand Funk. I mean, just the unbelievable, uncharted territory that you guys plowed. But here it is. I was alluding to a Michigan thing, and it really is and there's a spirit in every state, and there's a great musical communication no matter what city that Mark and I perform in. They identify our geographical representation. There is a geography to musical tones, guitar styles, the pursuit of specific grooves and high energy music. But today, Mark, like all my other buddies, Shemane and I are involved with every military and every law enforcement, every children's charity you can imagine. And right now, Mark Farner and his wife are helping the flood victims in Midland, Michigan. There was a terrible flood, a catastrophic flood, and that you're involved with all kinds of charity work, and that's part of that Michigan spirit too. Michigan people, by the way, John, I love Texas, I love California, I love every place, but there's something about Michiganiacs. They don't take any crap, even though right now they are taking a lot of crap up in Lansing. Yeah. But they're rugged, they're tough, they're entrepreneurs, they are the man in the arena. Tell us about some of the charity work that you and your wife are doing, Mark, because that makes me so proud to call you my blood brother, because I know you care, and I know you've always given more than you take. That's another Michigan thing, I think.
Well, you can't outgive God, and God is love, and that's I'm just quoting the Bible. God is love, and there's a lot.
You're quoting John too, by the way.
You're quoting me. Right.
But there's a lot of love in this state, Brother Ted, and you relate to it and bring it to life. This is our unity. This is why there wasn't, a big march in Petoskey, Michigan or something. I mean, they won't come up to the north because there's too much love here and there's too much unity. And people are going, oh, I hope they don't come up here because there's going to be some shit. I mean, seriously. And you know what I'm talking about. That is still alive in Michigan. Yes. And as you referred to, Brother Ted, the British invasion, look, they sing every song in American English.
Yes.
And
there's no speech impediment when you start to sing.
That's right. And when we go to England, we don't sing in the King's English, do we, brother?
And all the air traffic controllers don't have an accent that you have to make them repeat it. They speak real English. Why do we call it English? Why do we call it what it is? It's the American language. Come on, let's start celebrating that.
Right. You need to call it American.
So, Mark, what other kind of charities? There was a horrible flood in Michigan, and it just happened last fall, didn't it? Or was it this spring, Mark?
It was this spring. And
yeah, I mean, it wiped out lots of farms.
Oh, my God, it took out lots of families. And some of my friends sent me videos that have houses on what used to be lakes that it's just catastrophic. And people have lost everything. So I compelled people, we opened a GoFundMe for Mark Farner's Mid-Michigan flood relief, and we are raising money to give to the Red Cross, who are there hands-on with the families in need. And God bless Michigan Red Cross.
Mark, what is your website that people can go? Because I know you have the GoFundMe, the Mark Farner 039 S Mid-Michigan flood relief. Can they get that at your website?
Yes, markfarner.com.
My favorite. Yeah, a lot of people ask me where they can get my hat. I go markfarner.com. You get all Ted Nugent stuff at markfarner.com. No, you can't. Well, Mark, I got to tell you, I know the music is unstoppable in your life. I had one of my best records in my life with Jason and Greg last year, and Michael Lutz from Brownsville Station, the author of Smoking in the Boys' Room. These guys are still on fire, like a bunch of horny 15-year-olds in a garage with a big amplifier for the first time. There's that vitality that is still alive and well, even at 72, huh? Yeah. What are you doing in 2020? I bet you're making some killer music. And when I get back to Michigan next month, if we don't rendezvous, I'm gonna stalk you, because if you and I don't collaborate, God will be angry.
Oh yes, I believe that, brother. I've been working with Jim Peterick. You know who that is from the Ides of March?
Hell yes.
We've been writing some together, and he's a great guy. That band They've been together 55 years, and it's all the same members. I'm so proud of those guys.
We did with the Ides of March, we did the Dex Card Wild Goose Circuit. I'm sure you must have done the Dex Card Wild Goose Circuit and the Sherwood Forest over there in
Sherwood.
I'll bet you Mark Farner has played every stage that I have ever played, and probably 5 times. So are you still going out there and rocking your balls off? What are you doing, Mark?
Sir, brother. Yeah. I mean, you know, of course, we've had to put shit on hold.
Yeah.
We got dates, and we got some going to still play this year. They're going to try some of the drive-in theaters down there in Florida and some acoustic things. But they're telling us, probably the same thing they're telling you, brother, is May 20.
May 21.
21, yeah.
Yeah.
21. And before we see anything significant as far as any put together a tour, right now it's just like a one-off here, one-off there. I did the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp the same way we're doing this with a Zoom, and I did a couple of other Zoom things. Thank God for Zoom, but it's a drag when you can't hear the audience applaud.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure the way we were brought up, you know, playing those little clubs and the little teen clubs, the Hullabaloo and the Shindig clubs. Yeah. I mean, they're the Crow's Nest East, the Crow's Nest North, the Crow's Nest South, and the Crow's Nest West, the Birmingham Palladium.
Yeah, man, Tom's House.
Silver Bell.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Mark, how about a moment? I want some kind of salute from you because I'm remembering all this. I remembered the names of all those places. That's something, isn't it?
I mean, you must be eating your spinach.
All right, let me throw a question here. I got some friends that are just so excited that you're on tonight. This is from a music maniac that knows everything Mark Farner, everything Grand Funk, and he says, what was the spiritual genesis behind the Grand Funk Railroad song, I Can Feel Him in the Morning? He states that it's incredible, moving, and obviously very spiritual, and I think it's their best song ever. The song is I Can Feel Him in the Morning. Tell us that story.
Okay, here I am. I detuned, drop D, right? And I'm playing this little thing. And Brewer comes over and he goes, well, what is that, Farner? And I go, I don't know, man. I'm just getting it right now.
Have you heard this story before, John? No, Mark, that's how all my songs are written.
That's how you're just messing around.
I don't know. It's just now coming, you know. So he said, do you mind me writing words? I kind of hear a melody. I said, well, sing it to me. And he said, da, 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 da. And I'm going, oh, yeah, go ahead, man. So that's how we did anything that Brewer and Farner co-wrote. He did lyrics. I did the music. I never touched the lyrics on that stuff.
How common was it just to play drop D? I mean, obviously there are a lot of people who like to play that, but how much do you write in that?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much.
Dave Grohl's guitar is just drop D permanently. You guys obviously were paving the way for that because not many people were doing that.
Right. But that song has a haunting character within it. I mean, because people that hear it and tell me, you know, that it's the best song that we've ever done, it's calling out. You know, Brewer was in a place in his mind where he was speaking his fears, he was speaking his hopes, he was speaking his dreams, all in this song, and it worked. It worked because a lot of people use that song to relate to this part of Grand Funk Railroad that, you know, not many people are aware of.
You know, it's called the Spirit Campfire. My TV show on the Outdoor Channel for 31 years is Spirit of the Wild. I have a song called Spirit of the Buffalo. John is a spiritual guy. The name of this program is The Physics of Spirituality with Attitude, because it is a confluence of the physical and spiritual world. And I know you're a deeply spiritual guy, Mark. I would like you to pontificate on the Mark Farner journey, particularly as a man who I so respect. I revere everything about you. You're a man of integrity. I use the Aboriginal term blood brother. I've called you that for years now because because I know if I needed someone, I could just send out a signal and I know you would be there for me. And you know I would be there for you. We talk like this, John. I mean, this is how blood brothers talk. But in this day and age where you see, and we were there in the 67 riots. We saw the assassination of Martin Luther King and the Kennedys. We saw the upheaval. We've seen the good. We celebrate the good. We monitor the bad and the ugly to try to fix it, to maximize the good. In the Mark Farner gonzo radar, because I know you're as omniscient as God has blessed anybody. You're a situational awareness music provider, protector, communicator. In 2020, when you see the heartbreaking savagery, the dishonesty in politics, the abuse of power, especially in our beloved state of Michigan, it's just an embarrassment. How do you communicate with your loved ones and your friends to remain strong and focus on the spiritual reckoning, the spiritual phoenix rising in the current fire?
Well, this is a perfect time to bring that love back into it, because it is for love of what we do that we do it, and we are compelled, we are compassionate, and we are driven to do these things and to engage. But what happened in 1995 when they deregulated the FCC was they took that guard down. There was a 777 rule. You could own 7 AM, 7 FM, 7 television stations. The 777 rule was put in place by the FCC to prevent what we are now suffering under. This bullshit
monopoly.
Yeah, and the ability to lie to people and have them turn into these people that we are seeing on TV, who've been lied to, who's been led along, and they dangle that hot dog out in front of them to bring them into this. And then, you know, we have to go out and make a living with a bunch of people who've bought into this lie. And I can't even hardly stand to talk to somebody who is one of those people. Oh my God. And they're talking about this little old lady on the plane. I'm sitting next to her and she says, "Oh, we have to go after the guns." I said, "Honey, you sat right next to the wrong person." I'm telling you right now, going after the guns? Oh no.
Yeah, unarmed and helpless will make it safe for the good people. It worked in Nuremberg, 1938, really good. You know, Mark is a freedom guy. Mark is a constitutional guy. Mark, I like to think that we are blood brothers of truth, logic, common sense, goodwill, decency, positive spirit, and that neighborliness that is so ubiquitous in Michigan. That's why Mark and his wife are doing that charity fundraising for the Midland flood victims. Everybody I know is like Mark. I swear to God, we watch for a problem that someone has and we leap to their assistance. So I got to tell you, I've known you forever. I've admired you forever. I got to get on stage with Mark in the railroad a couple times and jam. Oh, yeah. And it's an out-of-body experience, which I insist upon musically every time because I've been with the world's greatest musicians. But I can't wait to get back to Michigan. I come every hunting season, and we got to get together and actually get a real campfire other than an electric one here. But right. John and I are so honored to have you on here. I'm sure John, with his first encounter with Mark, you can tell immediately honor, integrity, charitable, conscientious, giving, understanding, forgiving, and like Mark has said 100 times, you just stink of love, man. I love your love stink. Jay Giles, love stinks.
Yeah, man.
Let's make sure that it's clear. Love. Legend.
It's all about
legend.
Love.
Yeah.
Well, Mark,
thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. You give our love to your family. And people really do go to, there's so many needy conditions in the world today. We have a bunch of charities that I'm going to celebrate again tonight. We always go for the military and law enforcement and children's charities. Yeah, but right now, I'd like to see, even if you got $1, if you got $5, or maybe if you live in Michigan, maybe you can go up and help some of these families. But go to markfarner.com and communicate with Mark. And do you do Facebook and stuff like that on a regular basis, Mark?
No.
No, I do. I would encourage you to, because I tell you, if you come to my Facebook, I'm telling you, if you just spent a couple days on my Facebook, you'd wonder what they're reporting on TV, because it's nothing but love and spirit and funny and cocky and smart ass, you know, the kind of people that we love. It's all good. So if you choose your priorities with intellect and spirit, you will end up being surrounded by the best people in the world on my Facebook. We'd love to have you on there, but when I get to Michigan, I'm going to have you come down to Concord. Are you up in Toppin-to-Bee? Where are you up there nowadays? Petoskey. I'm going to come. I'll come up and get some Petoskey stones on the beach.
Right. Yeah, man.
You know, my northern cabin is right up by Baldwin. I'm a sheriff deputy in Lake County, and I have to qualify there every 4 years. Or I do it every year, but I come up to. I got a bear permit for the first time in 17 years, and I'm going to be coming up to Lake County to get me a rug steak in August and September. And I'm going to call you. We're going to maybe meet at Mesick and have some mushroom soup or something.
Okay. I'll bring the morels.
Well, Mark, God bless you and your family, and thank you so much. And thanks for the music that has driven our lives to such heights. You are a bad, stone-cold Michiganiac soul brother, and I love you with all my guts, man.
Thank you, Brother Ted. I love you, too.
Thank you, Mark.
Good to be with you, too. Good to meet you and hear your heart come out.
Awesome.
And if I don't see you guys in the future, I'll see you in the pasture.
That's right. I'll be there. I'll be the guy in the tree.
That's right.
God bless you, Mark. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Mark.
man.
All right. So,
John, who do we think we are? The people we have. Do I have the best friends in the world?
you do have the best friends. You know, here I keep telling my kids, I was born in 1971, and I'm like, look, I think I lived through the best of times, because honestly, I have crystal clear memories from about 74 on. So I have the Grand Funk Railroad memories. I've got the Ted Nugent memories. I've got all of that. And what's incredible is that when I explain, I feel like I was born in like the exact right time. You're born a few years ahead of me, and you have sort of all the craziness that was going on prior to the 70s. And you have this, so you've got, you know, you literally go back and you think about Ted Nugent's life. You've got what I consider to be the best era of the 70s and 80s. You've got that in spades on both sides. And all the friends that you have and all the musical friends you've had, there's one very big common theme. They're such positive energy folks. Yeah, those are the people who belong around the campfire.
You know, we're going to have, we have a lot of musical guests, and we got a great friend of mine who's also a musical guest, but he happened to have been the governor of Arkansas. We got Governor Mike Huckabee coming on, and he and I have an incredible music and love of dogs and God family country and duck hunting. So I think Governor Huckabee is coming on next Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe he is.
Got that set up. And if I may, John, I'm going to do a couple things. I want to play the song Fred Bear, because with my blood brother from Michigan, Mark Farner, I feel a real Michigan energy right now. But I first want to celebrate a couple things. I think you have some screen copy. We have this incredible Special Forces charity fundraiser for some of our heroes that are going through troubled times. And you can win an incredible Canadian bear hunt. This is the Special Forces charity that you can get on my website. I think it was Special Forces Motorcycle Club. And they've got a bear hunt coming up that you can win. I think it's 2 bear hunts, and then a Canadian fishing trip, an all expense paid Canadian fishing trip for the Special Forces fundraiser. And I think you can go to my website and get the information on that. And we also have, I'm going to just mention it wherever it is. Where is it?
Are you going to mention Patriot Paws?
Yes, the Patriot Paws. It's another military charity that gets custom-trained, specialized dogs. As we were talking earlier with you, John, that dogs are a healing force. They calm you, they relax you, they take you away from any negatives or any stress. And Patriots, is it Patriots for Paws?
It's patriotpaws.org.
Patriotpaws.org. Yeah. But we like to give back to the heroes that have provided this freedom, because freedom is not free. And I do want to thank everybody, too. In fact, we got a bunch of heroes coming on soon, and there's an incredible resort called the Camelot Lodge, the Camelot Ridge Resort in northern Indiana. And these guys have donated, John, the facilities, you swear to God, it was the palace of a king or something, except we don't like kings. It's a beautiful resort called the Camelot Ridge in Indiana. And we're going to be taking some heroes of the military there, Shemane and I, and we're going to film just a great campfire and great meals and maybe a little range time and some deer hunting. And there's so many people. I have a stack of stuff here that people just give and give and give for those who deserve it the most. Law enforcement heroes and the military heroes and the children's charities. In fact, we're going to next show, it's already almost the end of this campfire, but we'll talk about the Ted Nugent Camp for Kids charity, a 501c3 100% volunteer charity for 31 years with the greatest volunteers, the greatest families in the world that have literally driven home the quality of life battle cry of clean and sober, aim small, miss small, hunter safety, firearms and archery marksmanship discipline. So a big salute to Ward Parker and Paul Malone and Kevin Mark and Roger and Bruce Cull and everybody who volunteers. There's hundreds of them, John. We're going to go into the detail on the next show. But the Ted Nugent Camp for Kids, Shemane and I started 31 years ago, and it continues to this day in Nebraska, Iowa, Colorado, and South Dakota, and we're going to try to expand it more. But we're literally saving kids' lives. They're not getting in gangs, and like the song says, I take my kids hunting so I don't have to hunt for my kids, and it really is accurate.
So, Ted, we have, I know we're talking about dogs. I just had to show you. You asked me if I had a dog. Look at my dog. You want to know what my dog's name is?
Beautiful
Zeppelin.
Dog. What's his name?
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin. Oh, there you go.
Zeppelin, as in lead. So Zeppelin is a greater Swiss mountain dog, one of the greatest breeds ever. They are, I will tell you this, they are the most lovable, just stuffed animals. So adorable. But and she's pretty small. She's pretty small, but look at her. She'll even let you put antlers on her. Like, look at that. She's a little cutie. Like,
can't live without dogs. So go to patriotpaws.org. It's a great military charity that brings peace and love and calming and stress elimination, not just stress relief. I swear to God, time with a dog, it doesn't relieve stress. It eliminates it, at least for a while.
So, Ted, we're going to be wrapping up soon, but I want you to explain what's at UncleTed2020.com. We need to get everybody registered for the free webinar. And why don't you give us the whole background of that? And then you got to play us an acoustic campfire song.
I shall. Everybody, make sure, John, you get a hold of Toby. I want to make sure that UncleTed2020.com is on the front center of my website, and a big battle cry on my Facebook. And again, thank you, everybody, for the unbelievable. What a great attitude and piss and vinegar and positive spirit and smart people and really, really cocky. That's really the ultimate badge of honor. Cocky people are my favorite people. But I appreciate all the communication at my website and on my Facebook. But UncleTed2020.com. Go to UncleTed2020.com and you register, right, John? Because I'm going to give you a free webinar. I mean, literally hands-on, where I'm going to show you the gory details of how I've developed my own guitar style, my own signature, my own voice on the instrument, and how I come across and unleash these patterns and these licks and these theme lines for all the songs that I've written for the last 60 years, is it?
So, and how it fits in music history.
Yes, I'll be doing Q&As. It'll be a real intimate webinar, and I'll show you how this unbelievable lick happened one morning. I went out to do my chores, and I was going to give the dogs the biscuits. I had 3 Irish setters, Popeye, Pinecone, and Paco. And I stopped, and I saw the dogs didn't see me with the biscuits yet, so I snuck back into the house and I picked up a Gibson acoustic guitar, and Fred Bear had just died not too long previous to that. And I sat down and I just went, I didn't have anything planned. I wasn't even really thinking about Fred. I just felt something and I went, sound like that? Does it sound good? There I was, back in the wild again. I felt right at home, where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again, just like it happened so many times before, so many times. Of the woods, he's like an old good friend. Makes me feel warm and good inside. And I know his name, it's good to see him again. 'Cause in the wind, he's still alive. Talking about Fred Bear, walk with me down the trails again. Take me back where I belong. Fred Bear, I'm glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I will join you on the big hunt before too long. And it was kind of dark, another misty dusk. And it came from a tangle down below. And I tried to remember everything you taught me so well. I had to decide which way to go. Was I alone or in a hunter's dream? The moment of truth is here and now. I felt his touch, I felt his guiding hand. And the buck was mine forevermore. Because of Fred Bear, I still walk down these trails again. He takes me back where I belong. Fred Bear, I'm glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I will join you on the big hunt before too long. And we're not alone when we're in the great outdoors. We got his spirit, we got his soul. and he will guide my steps, guide my arrows home. The restless spirit forever roams, and it roams the threadbare, and I walk down these trails again. He takes me back where I belong. Threadbare, I'm glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I will join you on the big hunt before too long. 'Cause in the wind, he's still alive. In the wind, he's still alive. In the wind, I hear Fred Bear. I hear you, Fred. Hey, Fred, let's go hunting, buddy. Hey, Fred, you go up that ridge. I'll go down to the swamp. Go get that buck. Hey, Fred. Campfire will never go out.
Wow. That was something special. They got a picture up on the screen there. You see that, Ted?
I see it. Fred's in the wind. He's still alive. Thank you, everybody, for making that song such a powerhouse communication between us. The stories, John, of families getting back together after feuding, the number of times that song's been played at a birth, homecoming, a graduation, a funeral, flag draped coffins coming home from the battlefield. That song has been played, if not 1,000 times, 2,000 times. The communication I get regarding that song is beyond any fantasy a musician could ever have. So thank you, everybody, for that. It means more than you can imagine to me.
Ted, have you recorded an acoustic version of that? Like
on my last album, The Music Made Me Do It, I played that exact acoustic version with the Matt McPherson. Matt McPherson, of course, invented the Matthews bows. So he makes my favorite bow, which is the Mystical Flight of My Arrow. Yep. And Matt McPherson also makes the best acoustic guitar on the planet. This is actually made by Matt McPherson, the same guy who makes the Matthews bows. So I'd be his blood brother just with the bows, but now that he also makes such a killer guitar, we are kindred spirits, I kid you not. But there is a version of the acoustic Fred Bear on the last CD we did, The Music Made Me Do It, and it really captures that love and that missing and hurt, but mostly the positive energy that Fred touched everybody with. Everybody loved Fred Bear beyond measure. What a great, great man he was.
All right, well, listen, everybody. That's going to do it for this edition of Ted Nugent, Spirits Campfire. We're out. We will see you on Monday, 9 o'clock Eastern. And I think we're going to have the great Mike Huckabee, I believe.
Governor Mike Huckabee, a great soulful musician himself. John, thank you very much. This is a lot of fun. But when we come back, let's figure out exactly how many campfires we've had, because we've had just the greatest guests in the world, including Shemane Nugent, and we're going to get Toby Nugent on. We're going to get Sasha Nugent on. We're going to get Fleetwood Nugent on and Rocco Nugent on. We're going to get all my kids. We're going to get Linda Peterson, who has all the gory details from the inside. And we're going to have wonderful guests. We got Wayne Kramer, Tom Morello, Derek St. Holmes coming going on. Carmine Appice, Tommy Aldridge, Tommy Clefettos, Johnny Gunnell, Marco Mendoza. Some of these names you might not know, but I guarantee you have danced or had sex to the songs they performed on. I've got the greatest musicians in the world on my team, and they're all going to join us here, John, at the Spirit Campfire. So God bless you. I'll see you Monday.
God bless you all.
Have a great weekend. Live it up. Have a real campfire and spread the good spirit.
Send us pictures. Peace.
Yowza.